Next question is from OMG. It's Danny D. What's your guys' opinion on high-intensity training, like how Mike Mentzer preached and then how Dorian Yates perfected?
Oh, great follow-up question.
Sal's talked about this a million times.
Love this.
I know,
okay.
a bunch of times.
I love this. Okay, so Mike Mentzer, his program was called Heavy Duty. Dorian Yates did a program called Blood and Guts. Mike Mentzer's training was based off of the teachings of Arthur Jones, the inventor of Nautilus equipment. And the theory was that once you set the gears in motion for muscle growth, once you set the stimulus, any further signal would just impair recovery, slow down the process. And so then the question was, well, how do we know we send the signal effectively? Well, make it as intense as possible. So what they did is they said, okay, instead of doing, because at the time when Arthur Jones was studying this, it was in the late 70s. It was in the 70s. At that time, the popular bodybuilding workouts were like high volume. So like Arnold would do what are called double split routines, 20 sets per body part, get a pump, he's going in there, he's doing biceps for 45 minutes to an hour type of deal. Arthur Jones said, no, 1 set to failure and beyond is what you do, and then you leave it alone. So now the body can grow and build muscle and that stuff. And he tested it. And what they found was in short periods of time, it worked. People built a lot of muscle, a lot of strength. This is true. If you follow this style of training in a short period of time, you will see rapid gains.
By the way, this question feeds perfectly into the last question.
Correct.
I mean, because this is what you're explaining right now is a perfect example of where just
valid method.
Yeah. And then also that there's other variables. And so, yes, this is a tool. Yes, we could write a program that's 100% based off of that, but then there's other factors that come into play. And even if that does work, it comes to a point where it doesn't work as well.
Never.
3 months later.
Not even 3 months. So you'll get really fast, short-term results, burn out real quick, and then go backwards. That's what ends up happening when most people train this way. It's very, very rare outliers like Dorian who could continue training this way. But that's just how it is for this kind of. This is why it's not the predominant way of training. But this is also why people will do it and then preach about it, because they'll be like, "Oh my God, I got more strength gains in 3 weeks than." So, by the way, it's not appropriate for most people. Taking a set to failure and beyond is such an inappropriate level of intensity for most people because their form breaks down and it's just stupid. I would never train 95% of my clients in this way, even with me watching them. Okay. Nonetheless, I figured this out and we all got together and wrote a program that utilized and took advantage of this effect in a long program. And it essentially alternates between this style of training and other styles of training with deload weeks to maximize its effects and minimize its negatives. So if you want to be able to maximize those short-term gains, but like stay away from what ends up happening, which is you hit a wall and go backwards, MAPS Anabolic Advanced utilizes failure training in this way, but does it in a way to where, you do the program for 3 or 4 months and you don't end up experiencing what everybody experiences when they do this, which is terrible burnout.